And today is a day we've waited many years for, because today
we're both doing together Latin and boring dancing. Yay!
So on the way to dance, we've decided to look up how to say let's go dance in Spanish. So, are you ready? Vamos a bailar.
Vamos a bailar.
Well done, baby. Yeah, we're so excited, we can't wait. So we're walking there now and we'll catch up with you soon. Hey everybody, so we've just got back from doing an hour-long Latin and ballroom class, and it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. We did a bit of the cha-cha, a waltz, a fun dance that the teacher made up for like gatherings, because they like have all the students get together or something like that. And then we also did the rock and roll one. Apparently rock and roll is what I'm best at. Yeah, so we just thought we'd quickly show you what we learned, because we didn't feel comfortable asking to record anything, because obviously this was our first lesson. But I really wish I could have recorded Dawn-Louise actually, because she did so good, and her wiggle butts are on point apparently.
1, 2,
so yeah, we have
cha-cha-cha.
our lunch shoes on, which is why I'm suddenly so much taller. And we're going to show you what we learned today.
Yeah!
Right, so I think the first thing that we're going to do is put my hair up, because basically we're doing it in, had no aircon, and I'm very hot.
I'm even sweating, but I kept on trying.
Yes. Right, you ready? Right,
No,
so
you
I think we're going to do the waltz first, yeah? Like start off nice and slow. And 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, she looked at me then and got distracted. I'm going to now show you what our feet are going to be doing whilst we do that.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, start again.
1, 5,
6, 7, 8. 1, 2.
It's okay. It's okay, honey. Right, if I squeeze, you do that first. If I squeeze this one, it's this foot. Squeeze that one, it's this foot. Okay. And oh, sorry, that was my phone. Back. There we go. Let's make it now. Oh, and 5, 6, 7, 8.
1, 2, 3.
So that was the waltz, and now we're going to show you the cha-cha.
Yeah, and I love this.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. 1, 2, And now we're going to show you the rock and roll, and apparently I was good at this, so who knows. Right, rock and roll. So it's this one. Rock, backwards, kick, rock, backwards, oh, no, it's kick. Yeah. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, dance the teacher made up?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
I've got this.
Right, we're gonna have to come this one. Okay, and outside leg. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, kick. 1, 2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and oh. Get the other one. Skippy and hold. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, stop. 1, 2, 2.
Of the secret kingdom that King Mary.
Hey everybody, so it's actually Tuesday morning currently, so happy Tuesday. I hope you're having a great day. So I just wanted to quickly come on here and talk about yesterday's ballroom and Latin class, because I was going to speak about it yesterday, but the studio was so hot, there was not really any air conditioning or fans, so obviously it was very hot and we were there for an hour and we got really sweaty and I needed to shower and change, and after that I didn't really want to film anything because I looked a mess. I looked a hot mess, and not in a good way. I mean, I was physically too hot and just a mess. Yesterday was actually a really big deal for me. I've wanted to take up dancing for many years now. I did do it as a child. I did ballet and tap, so I had thought about going into adult ballet and tap classes, but never really had the confidence to do it. Dawn-Louise did a trial lesson of ballroom and Latin, I think it was last year, with the same teacher we had yesterday, but she got a bit uncomfortable and self-conscious because it was just when she was going through her bullying stage at her old school, and like the parents would sit and watch, and some of them were like laughing amongst themselves, but it made her sort of self-conscious and she thought that they were laughing at her even though they weren't. From being bullied, her confidence had been knocked. So now that she had it back, I thought this would be a great opportunity for not only me to try and do something new, but for something that we could do together, because she does lots of activities and lots of things during half terms and some holidays, but they're rarely things that we actually get to do together. It's very hard to find like a class or a workshop where we actually get to do things together. It's normally just me standing there watching her do it, which is great because I do want her to have fun and experience new things, but I also would really like to spend some quality time with my daughter, give us something to bond over, something for us to share together. So since we both love dancing, I thought this would be a really great thing because it's a dance that we're both new to, so that we'd sort of be learning along the way together and we'd get to share it, because we're always like messing around dancing at home, like I'll twirl her around, we do the whole like and spin in and spin out thing, and we mess around like that, but neither of us really know any kind of dance that we could do together, so I thought this was a great opportunity. Now the reason it's such a big deal for me is because I actually suffered with social anxiety for quite a few years. They think that I probably had it from a much younger age than I was diagnosed, because I was only diagnosed by a psychiatrist at age 15. So what had happened was I had started walking to school, and there was this field that I had to walk through to get to my school, and every day for about, well, there was many weeks, I don't know exactly how long, obviously this was quite a while ago now, I'm 25 next month, so this was like literally 10 years ago, so oh my god, it was 10 years ago, so I'm just realising how old I am. This actually happened 10 years ago, so obviously my memory isn't amazing on it. All I can remember is the things that unfortunately, I think probably due to the fact that I've had mental illnesses before, I do have a really bad thing where I only remember really bad events in my life, things that are really negative, because that is a stronger feeling to me than happiness. So I remember a lot of really negative things in my life, and I don't remember a lot of happy things, which is such a miserable way to look at life, which is another reason I'm really glad that we're doing vlogging, because that way when I'm going down that spiral where I can't remember the happy days, I can look back and watch them and relive it. So yeah, it's something that I really love about vlogging, and it's something that's very important to me because I do struggle with that a lot. So anyway, I had this field that I had to walk through to get to school, and every morning for a good few weeks, maybe a couple of months, I'd been walking through it, and I get like halfway through this field and suddenly I feel really sick and my heart's going and I'm physically sick, And I'm thinking, okay, well, I've got a stomach bug or something, because my heart was going, I felt hot, I felt dizzy, and just really, really uneasy, and I didn't really know why. So I thought I legit just thought I had a tummy bug or something. So I turned around, went home, and at that time I was living with my granddad. I started living with him when I was a young teenager. So I turned around and I was like, look, I'm just trying to go to school and I've been sick. I think I need to stay home. I think I've got a tummy bug. I don't know if this is the same for all schools, but down here, if you've had a tummy bug, you need to be away from school for like 48 hours. So I was missing a couple of days of school every time this happened, thinking that I picked up a bug. And I had other health issues, so like nothing was clicking that it was anything other than a physical condition. I didn't really know much about mental illnesses back then. I didn't know what social anxiety was back then, so I had no idea what was really going on with me. But I was seeing dietitians, I was getting blood tests and everything for other reasons anyway, because I was very poorly as a child. So I just thought that it was just something wrong with my body again, that was doing this to me. So yeah, I kept getting sick, and this happened over and over and over again. And then it got to the point where it was happening every single time that I tried to get to my school. And then there was one specific time when I managed to get to school fine, and then I threw up in the bathroom at like lunchtime or something, and I'd never been sick at school before, so that was like really embarrassing for me. Thankfully no one knew that it happened, but I'd never felt like my heart race as much as I did then. And like none of these things had obviously added up to me. I just thought I was sick, so again I went home. So I was missing a lot of school because I kept being physically sick, and when doctors think like, we can't see anything wrong with her, she doesn't have a temperature, she doesn't have, you know, it doesn't look like she's got any illnesses, it doesn't look like it's a tummy bug or anything like that, or a sickness bug. So I really didn't know what was going on with me. And then so this story probably isn't going to add up completely, because like I said, it's 10 years ago, so I can only remember bits here and there. But I remember there was this one day when I had managed to get into class, and we were sat in maths table, and our table was like in a U, so like there was one row here, and then one connecting it. So everyone in the class can see everyone in the class. And the teachers asked a math problem. Maths was never my strong suit. I tried my hardest, but I couldn't get maths. I can do algebra, which is weird, but when it comes to like times tables and things, my mind can't do it. It's a massive jumble. So yeah, anyway, the teacher says, put your hand up if you know the answer. So I kept my head and hands down. But he chose me, and every single student was looking at me, and I felt sick. So sick. Like I was so scared, and I started shaking, and I could feel my hands sweating and my heart racing, and people started laughing because I started crying, and I didn't even realise that I was crying. So it wasn't like sobbing, there was tears coming out my eyes, and I didn't even realise, because I'm so busy on the fact that my heart's going, I'm shaking and I'm sweating. And everyone starts laughing at me, which obviously then makes it worse, and they don't even let me like go out the room, so I'm left to sit there and just sort of sob to myself quietly. Not great. I probably needed a second and somebody to talk to me. And this was the time that my granddad suddenly realised that something was very wrong with me, and I ended up going to the doctor, and we spoke about it, and they sent me off to something called CAMS, which is the Children's Mental Health Service. I don't know too much about them, to be honest, other than my own experience, but that's what they're called. So I go there for my first assessment, and there are 5 adults, my mum, my granddad and me on the other side, and then it's like a semicircle of 5 other psychologists. And basically they wanted to hear my story so that they could, amongst themselves and with me, choose who I thought was most suitable and who thought they could help me the most. And I could not say anything, and this started to happen more and more. It got to a point where I knew I wanted to say, but nothing would come out, and it was because I also had selective mutism. So all the times that my mum had called me shy as a child when I didn't want to speak, turns out it was my mental health ruining my life. And I'm not shy, and I've never been shy, but I had these 2 mental health problems that were holding me back, that I never knew about, I never knew they existed. I didn't know what any of these things were. So basically, when I didn't feel completely comfortable, I could not speak. So I knew what I wanted to say, and I wanted to be a part of the conversation, but my mouth just wouldn't do anything. And this happened during the assessment. So my mum was left to speak to the psychologist, and I think I chose who my psychologist was. I don't know, I can't remember, but he was an amazing psychologist, and he helped me so much, and he literally changed my life. He was just amazing. The way that he handled me, I think, was amazing. And I've only seen one, so I don't know, you know, if like their techniques and everything would be any different with another one, but I know that he was amazing for me personally. So I'm sorry, this probably isn't making much sense, is it? I'm trying to get it, but like I said, I can remember pieces myself anyway. So I started having sessions with my psychologist. I think they were every week and then every fortnight. I remember once I had Dawn-Louise, it was definitely at least every week, but while she was in hospital, I couldn't see him because we were in another city. So that was a period of time when I was 16 to 17 where I couldn't see him at all. But yeah, so we'd talk about things and that was it. He'd like to teach me how to get through it and things. And I remember for a very long period of time, I couldn't go on buses because it would set off my panic attacks. And that's what the heart racing and sweaty palm thing was. It was a panic attack. And again, I didn't know what these things were. I honestly thought that there was something just physically wrong with me. I honestly thought I was just sick, not that I had any kind of mental problems, because I didn't really know anything about them. I knew a little bit about depression and I knew a little bit about like schizophrenia and things like that, and I did actually take a psychology course in my last year of schooling, so that's interesting. But yeah, I didn't really know anything about social anxiety, panic attacks or selective mutism. So yeah, it was really, really hard because I couldn't go on buses, which meant I had to walk everywhere. So that's why I was so skinny as a teen, because I would literally have to walk everywhere, even if it was like 2 hours away. And then I remember after having Dawn-Louise, going to like baby groups and everything was really hard for me, because not only did I have my social anxiety to deal with, I had to deal with the fact that I was a young mum getting judged, and the fact that, you know, I had to worry about all the other children making her sick. So I didn't go to too few of those, but that was more medical wise for her than it was for me. But like going into the shopping centre, like we live in a very busy part of town, and I used to have my curtains closed because I could not stand the thought of somebody looking at me or somebody watching what I was doing. It really set me off, and obviously I have a child to take care of her. She's my priority, and if having the curtains closed meant I could care for her with no problems, that's what I was going to do. But people would have a go at me and they were like, oh, come on, let in some sunlight, at like health visitors and the people who helped me get home. And like monitored me when I first moved in. That's a whole nother story. But like, that was my way of coping with what I needed to cope with. Otherwise, I was literally suffering day-long panic attacks, because all day, anytime someone went past the window, my mind was doing loops, my heart was going, I was sweating, I was getting out of breath, and I was just a complete mess anytime that somebody walked past my window, because I felt danger from it. So yeah, I'm totally rambling about it. If you want me to speak about this more at another time, I will. But basically, I'm just roughly explaining that I used to have social anxiety. I used to have trouble having people look at me, having people near me, being in crowded spaces and things like that, and talking to new people. Like if I was at home, no problem, chatterbox as always. But when I was outside with new people, I wouldn't be able to speak, which was not fun. But yesterday I managed to go into a room to try something new that I felt a little bit silly at, because I don't dance and I don't know what to wear and everything like that. And I held her hands to dance with the teacher as she taught me the moves, which is something that, you know, about 5 years ago I would have never been able to do. And to have eye contact with somebody and to keep a conversation going on with somebody, that was a really, really big deal for me. And even though people watching this have probably clicked off from my boring ramble, it was a huge moment for me and something that I want to remember. And if anyone else does suffer with social anxiety, I just want to say that it can get better. You know, get the help that you need, and then one day you'll realise everything can get better, and you'll realise that you'll be open to the things that you've always wanted to try and put off because your mental health completely got in the way. Because this is something, like I said, I've been wanting to do for years and I've never been able to do it, and I felt not a single bit of fear going into that room yesterday. I was excited and I was just really, really happy to be there, and that's something I wouldn't have been 5 odd years ago. So yeah, if that gives anyone a little bit of hope, then I hope it does. But again, I'm really sorry if this story isn't very coherent, because I only remember certain parts of what I went through because it was so long ago that it started. But obviously if anyone does want to ask questions about it, I'll be happy to answer. I can talk now. I'm a real girl. But no, it was a really big deal with me to be able to do that, and I wanted to share that with other people who may be going through something similar and feeling like they're never going to get to do it, and that they're missing out on the things that make life worth living for them. So yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed hearing it, even if it was a total ramble. But yeah, I'm really, really proud of myself, to be honest, because that was a big step, and I think I've just proved to myself that nothing is holding me back anymore, and that, yeah, I still have like really weird thoughts here and there. There is my anxiety lingering in, but I mean, I never went on medication for my anxiety. It was all just talking to a psychologist. So I have had to work out what works for me and what helps me to handle it. So the fact that that's actually worked for me, I think is quite amazing, because at the beginning I did not think that I was ever going to be who I am today. I'm going to stop rambling now, but that's all for today's vlog, and then whatever we do today you'll obviously see tomorrow, so we will see you then. Goodbye.
Everybody gives you advice, yeah, on how to live your life, how to live your life. Don't you know that life is full of surprises? You better realize